Did I lose you?
Nah, you ain't lose me. I was thinking it was something that you said, and I was thinking like of something that someone else said, but there wasn't a response given because there couldn't be a response. It's like a person was like, what the fuck did they post? They say, I'm tired of dealing with the same shit, but I want something different, but don't know where to find it. Help me out.
Right.
Now, the response to that is, I don't know. I don't know how to respond to it. Like, I'm still be thinking how to respond to it.
So it's saying you looking for something different, but don't know where to find it.
Yeah. Cause it's always the same shit coming to you.
Okay. Um, I think the first step with something like that is one, deciding what it is that you want, right? So saying that I want something different, okay. How can someone help you find something different if you can't articulate what that something different is? You know what I'm saying? And I think even doing that amount of self-reflection opens the door to more thought. Because once you figure out what it is that you want, you can go a step further and ask, okay, what's stopping me from getting it? And then if you decide what's stopping you from getting it, what can I change in order to get it? And then acting on that. But the first step is figuring out what it is that you even looking for in the first place. Because if somebody is asking you, well, what do you want? What is going to make you happy? I don't know. Well, I can't fucking tell you either. How am I supposed to help you if you don't know what it is that you want? But if you say like,
True.
oh, I want a
True.
relationship, we was talking about just like the steps to figuring out what it is that you want. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like I think, yeah, the first step is figuring out what it is that you want. Cause everything that I know, it took me back to working on myself. Every time I had a problem or an issue with something, it always led me back to something in myself that needed to change. And it wasn't until I started focusing on myself more than the world around me that my outside world began to change, if that makes sense.
True.
Like a perfect example um of something, right, is just like I always felt misunderstood because I couldn't have these level or these types of conversations with people, right? You know what I'm saying? It would always feel like everybody was either looking to me for answers or looking for me to something. It was almost like I had no. It's not that I didn't have peers, but it was just like I was tired of being like the go-to person in the room and not having anybody that I could go to when I needed something. Like if I need advice or if I need help or if I need something, there's nobody around me that can give me that help or that support. And I wanted a support system. So like basically what ended up happening, I prayed to God about it and ended up falling out with a whole bunch of people. Like things would just happen and I fell out with a whole bunch of people and I learned how to be my own support. You know what I'm saying? I stopped looking for support from people who I knew wasn't gonna support me. You know what I'm saying? Or wasn't gonna do that for me. And I learned how to be by myself and rock on my own. And then after so long of rocking on my own, that's when I started getting people around me that I could really connect with. You know what I'm saying? That were more like me than the people who I thought were like me around me in the first place. Like they were like me, but they were like an old version of me, not this new version of me. And then the people that I mean now, like the new version of me, I get to have conversations. They respect me. You know what I'm saying? We on the same type of time. You know what I'm saying? It's equal. I'm not having as many misunderstandings, and you know what I'm saying? But that's because I had to work on my ego, my pride, you know what I'm saying? Learning how to depend on myself and all that kind of stuff. Like I had to learn how to take care of me and stop looking for other people to take care of me, whether that be financially, emotionally, like in all of the ways that you could take care of yourself. Like I can, no matter what situation, no matter who's around or who's not, you know how to be cool, good. You ain't looking for that for nobody. So then once you start getting it in your life, you can recognize like, oh yeah, I do have support. Oh, these people around me, they always supported me. I was giving my attention to the niggas that didn't support me. That's who I was giving my energy to. Let me figure out what's real, what's not. And then you look around and it's just like, oh, I got a support system now. But that's because I had to change because I was so desperate for a support system that I was willing to tolerate bullshit from people who, like me, weren't willing to change. My surroundings were a reflection of me, whether you like to admit it or not. It was a reflection of me.
True. True. Like, I don't know. One thing, like, I, at the point that I fixed my relationship with my mom, but like, I'm trying to, man, there ain't no trying. Like, I've been trying to build a relationship, like, with my daddy. He don't even message back. So it's to the point that I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I've been washing my hands and gave up. But it's like me living in the world now, the one thing that I don't want to do is like leave on bad terms. Like one of them guys leave on bad terms or we ain't talking or whatever the situation may be. And it's like I don't think he understand that. And I don't know. Like I don't know why he don't want to talk or whatever. It's just, hey, bro, just sit and have a conversation with me. Let me know. So tell me what it is, and if we ain't gotta talk no more. That's it.
Okay.
But at least be a man and talk. Like you older than I am, bro. Like who being an adult in the situation right now?
Right. I think that's kind of like something that my dad was talking to me about yesterday, right? Where I'm like, my dad was saying like, as you grow, don't be afraid to just be the bigger person sometimes, right? Because you can't control what somebody else does. And I know in my life, that's been like one of the hardest things, right? Because, I've been in situations where it's just like you just wish niggas would just give you the dignity of a conversation to just air it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to control the outcome of the conversation. I'm just trying to have a conversation so we can come to some type of understanding because I want to be able to say, at least we tried. At least we tried. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to walk away from this situation. I don't want to leave this behind, like, because it's something that's worth saving if it's able to be saved. But you won't even give me that, you know what I'm saying, to have that conversation. It's disappointing and like disheartening, and just to be frank, it's painful, at least from my perspective. And that's not with somebody that's like a father figure, you know what I'm saying? So like I can only imagine to that degree. And it's just like I think the one thing that's standing out to me is like when you did everything in your power and then letting it go after that. Whereas just like, look, I tried. I extended my hand. I did everything that I knew how to make this situation work. So if it never works out, I know I did everything that I can. And then whatever's left is between you and God. Because you stood on what you stood on, whether it be whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that takes me to like the original idea of the episode where it's just like, you know, pride is the thing that makes you stand on business. But sometimes when you standing on business, is it actually worth it?
because especially as a man and you got kids or whatever the situation may be, whether they grown or not, it doesn't matter. Your kids should be, that's with anybody. Your kids should be your first priority, regardless of that.
Right.
So you handling business, your kids not business, they responsibility. There is a huge difference. So with that being said, you're responsible for this. It's not nothing about no business. That business shit can wait right now because your kid needs you, whatever the situation may be. That's your responsibility.
Right.
But a lot of people get that shit fucked up. I understand money is money, but that's like, just say for instance, if you was a mother and we had a kid together, you call me, hey, can you stop and get some McDonald's for the kids? Or can you bring the kids home some food? Your answer should be like, all right. Your answer shouldn't be, all right, let me make these couple sales, then I'll come home. Nah, nigga, take your motherfucking ass home right now. Fuck, nah. Like, I understand you making money. You could go back to that. I ain't say that you gotta stay. I said drop your kids off some food, bro. That's the least you could do. You got the money. If you out here trapping, you must.
You got bread.
If
Hopefully.
you trapping.
Hopefully.
But I understand with the business and everything like that, but your kids out here, I feel like you should be, and I feel like if when you talking about pride and stuff like that, that's ooh. Because as a man, shouldn't none of your ops or none of your dealers, should none of your ops or your clients know where your kids or you lay your head. So it's like, I don't know, when it comes to trapping and pride and stuff, like if my pride, me as a man, when it comes to my pride, I wouldn't have that shit around none of my kids. None of that, because that's you putting their life in danger as well.
Yeah. Yeah, which is important. Huh?
Like people don't think of it. They just think of it as, I'm doing this for my kids. Is you really doing it for your kids, or is you really doing it for yourself? Because honestly, you could work a 9 to 5. Honestly, if you were smart enough and you was really doing this for your kids, you would stop trapping and be a trapper for real, and go ahead and get that car. And since you trapping and you trapping in a legal state, why you still driving around? How the motherfuckers come to you? Why you still going to buy from third party? Grow your own shit. Be your own fucking boss. You can do it in a legal state. Like, if you really out here trying to let your pride make you be successful. Don't let your pride make you be a dumbass.
Right. Right. See, and that's really like the crazy part about being able to get to a point where you can use, like, where you can self-reflect enough to be like, you know how some people be like, well, I'm hard-headed, I'm stubborn, I'm whatever, I'm this, like I'm a hothead. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why are we so comfortable to use those things for a negative instead of using those things for a positive? Because even I think our negative traits are something that can be used for good. You know what I'm saying? I said it in the episode that came out with Kiera, where it's just like, I'm stubborn. And in the past, my stubbornness would be what kept me from, being able to do stuff. Like, I'm so stuck in my ways. Like, if you ask me to do something outside my comfort zone, it's a F no for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm stubborn. It is what it is. But like now, that same stubbornness is just like, I'm past the point where it's just like that stubbornness was like, okay, keeping me from getting help. It's like, okay, that because I'm stubborn, I know I'm gonna keep going at whatever it is that I'm trying to get. So whether or not you tell me yes, no, whatever, I'm gonna get what it is that I'm gonna get because I'm stubborn. You can't tell me no. So I'm gonna use that to get this positive shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use that to get a business started. I'm gonna use that to get this shit off the ground. I'm gonna use this, for that versus using it for shit that, you know what I'm saying, could be good for me. Like, be smart with the shit.